Hey guys, you're watching Boogie Plays Games, or sometimes Boogie Plays Games. Tonight I'm not going to be playing video games. Instead, I'm going to be answering your questions on Twitch TV. I'm live right now on Twitch. You probably see overlays and donations and subscriptions popping up. I'm going to leave those on for the people that are watching live. I hope they don't annoy you too much at home. If they do annoy you too much to where you can't watch this, if I choose to do another one in the future, let me know in the comment section down below. And I might answer your questions as well. So if you have any questions that were not covered in this, let me know down below. And I've got just a stream of questions shooting by over here in chat right now. And we're just going to see what we can answer. Fallout 4, better than Bioshock Infinite? Well, both Bioshock Infinite and Fallout 4 do a bad job of improving on the formula. They do have their own style and their own, feel. So is one better than the other? Well, I don't know. Fallout 4 is a more enjoyable game to me. Though I love the storyline of Bioshock Infinite. I hate the storyline of Fallout 4. It's not very good. Though I love the gameplay of Fallout 4 much better than the gameplay in Bioshock Infinite. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up there. Both have their bonuses and both have their ends. Am I going to play any future Konami games? Fuck Konami. I think we can all agree. Fuck Konami at this point. Secondly, I will play future Kojima games, especially now that he's partnered with Sony, which congratulations, Sony, on picking that one up. What a wonderful decision you just made. Like, what a wonderful decision to work with Kojima. I'm sure Xbox is chomping at the bit as well, but I'm so glad to see you were the guys who did it. Mostly because you also don't mind your games coming to PC when you get exclusives and stuff. That said, though, Konami's not making, unless I'm going to play a pachinko machine, I won't be playing any future Konami games because they're primarily going to be gambling games and iOS games that are similar to gambling, so probably not. Boogie, how do you feel that most games this year were rehashed and had subpar content for the purchase cost? Well, I disagree entirely. If you've seen my best of list on my main channel, the 15 games I listed there I thought were fantastic. 2015 was a much improved year over 2014, and I'm very grateful that it was. So I guess I just disagree with you entirely. As a general rule, Boogie, you're excited for Battlefront 2? Yeah, I'll be saving up for the $100 season pass. It's sure to have. I don't know. I mean, Battlefront was fun, and I'm hoping Battlefront 2 will spend less time working on stage building and graphics building and focus more on gameplay building. And if that's the case, it could be pretty damned good. Hopefully they've also learned their lesson about monetizing their game via a $50 season pass, charge and such a huge bulk for the price of their game. Hopefully they'll understand better by next time. And then again, they're EA. They haven't seemed to learn yet. So let's see. Am I going to play any Smash Brothers on your gaming channel? And what are your thoughts on the DLC? I love Smash Brothers, and I love the DLC. I'm so glad to see they're bringing Bayonetta. I know eventually they're probably bringing Shovel Knight. I know that they're going to continue bringing more characters. And the cynic in me says, well, look at how many characters have been brought in as DLC. And look at the total price of that game because of it. That's a very expensive game once you've bought all of the characters, right? And I get that that's a problem.
Jerk me off and call me shit.
I get that that's a problem for a lot of players. At the same time, I will also say that they've all been added in post. So overall, I mean, hopefully there'll be a complete edition of Smash Brothers one day when the Wii U life cycle is retired. That said, man, what a great game. I would love to play it on my gaming channel, but because I'm not willing to hand the reins over to to Nintendo, so that they can take a big chunk of my revenue money from that channel, no, I refuse to partner with Nintendo and have them steal my shit. I'm not going to pay Nintendo to play their games on my channel. That's just never going to happen. Now when there's a plethora of other games to play. You rock, Boogie. Love what you do. Keep it up, man. Thank you, Landog. 21. What game in 2015 do you believe was the most complete? What game was ready from its release? Was there a game that was like really kind of like especially when it came to the AAA games, very few of them were fixed and ready to go when they launched. I don't think there is one. Honestly, I can't think of one. The people in the description or the comment section are going to laugh at me because they're going to be like, what about these 5 games? Bloodborne was pretty damn close. Bloodborne needed some patches to loading time and stuff, but it did a great job of being the game it wanted to be right out the gate. It still needed some other issues and things, but man, I did truly, truly love that game. Witcher 3 needed some patches graphically. It definitely needed some patches to other stuff as well. They made some patches and changes to combat after it launched, but it was very, very good. Somebody mentioned Dying Light, but Dying Light also, Until Dawn. Until Dawn was a complete game. I don't know that it got patched from launch. That might have been the most complete game, actually. What game do you think had the best music this year? Easily, in my opinion, of the games I played, was Battlefront. They did a great job of really not only using the original John Williams scores for the Star Wars movies, but then adding to that. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Let's see. Thoughts on RuneScape? I've never played it. Am I going to play Xenoblade Chronicles X for Wii U? Probably, eventually. Will I ever play horror games on your channel stream? I don't enjoy horror games. I'm very susceptible to scary stuff, and I have PTSD, and because I have PTSD, I don't like scary games, because they can actually trigger real, honest-to-God panic attacks in me that make me feel really, really sick and really, really bad. So I, as a general rule, don't like horror games. If a game doesn't actually, like if I watch it get played before, and I know what the jump scares are, like Until Dawn, it's a little easier for me to play if I play with a group of people. But otherwise, let's see. What do I think about Square Enix bringing Keyblade transformations into Kingdom Hearts 3? I don't know. I honestly know nothing about it. Sounds like a cool idea. I find your lack of Undertale disturbing. Good news, I have recorded 33 minutes of gameplay of Undertale, and it will be on the channel, my gaming channel, Boogie Plays, eventually. So, man, I'm excited for the new Zelda when it finally releases. Yes, but I'm not sure how I feel about what Nintendo's doing right now. Like, if you guys have not seen, Nintendo's got some new patents out, and they probably relate to the NX. And the two things that worry me about what is happening there, the first is they are doing this like, they're doing like this handheld controller that's basically a cell phone. And instead of having tactile, physical controller pieces, it's apparently going to have, you'd rub the screen like you do your cell phone. I hate using a cell phone as a controller. I think it's awful. If that's what I have to use to play the NX, it's going to be terrible. And if it's going to release, if the new Zelda game does release on the NX, and that's what I have to do with it, I'm going to hate that. I do like the other patent that they have, which is a modular system, in which basically the handheld piece you have will have a CPU in it, and then the base will have a CPU in it, and for using the handheld in the same room, it will wirelessly connect, and both of them will compute stuff. It's a weird patent. So NX has some interesting stuff about it, but the idea of a mobile phone style controller just is stupid to me. I don't want to do that. But who knows? Ultimately, I have faith in Nintendo. Let's see. Would I stream Star Wars: The Old Republic MMORPG if they ever made it? If they ever added a lot of content to it and revamped it and made it at least the equivalent of World of Warcraft. But again, I'm over MMORPGs. Somebody asked earlier about what I think about the current state of MMORPGs, and it basically comes down to the fact that I don't really have an opinion about that because I don't play MMORPGs anymore because they're very time consuming, and my time is mostly spent here on YouTube stuff. And a lot of people say, Boogie, YouTube is not a real job. It's super easy. It's not time consuming. It's not like it's not real work. But okay, and I'll admit that like YouTube is not as difficult as doing washing dishes in a Mexican restaurant or working security and doing like first aid stuff that I've had to do. Like all of that stuff is definitely something that I find way more difficult than I find YouTube. However, YouTube is very time consuming. There's a lot of editing, there's a lot of filming, there's a lot of scripting, there's a lot of studying statistics, there's a lot of studying trends, there's a lot of doing other stuff. And even though my videos are not that edited, this video will probably be uploaded entirely unedited. It will still take time to put together the stream, to film it, to upload it, to work on it. It's just very time consuming. So an MMORPG, which is also time consuming, taking, say, 2 or 3 hours to raid sometimes, an hour to clear a dungeon, I just don't have the time for it anymore. Because I'm putting, on minimum, on my main channel, 4 or 5 hours of work a day. On my secondary channel, now 3 or 4 hours a day. On Twitch streaming, 3 to 4 hours a day. And in many cases, that's 7 days a week. So I'm working 8 to 10 hour days, 7 days a week. I'm working 60, 70 hours. I just don't have time. I wish that I had time. I just don't have time. But I miss them a lot. EverQuest used to be the only thing I ever did. And World of Warcraft was the only thing I ever did for a really long period of time. And I missed those days. But I don't think I'll ever have them again. So, Distant World, welcome to the sub club. Whenever you get a brand new sub, your number to go like this. Would I stream the latest Dying Light expansion on release? I enjoyed Dying Light, but I got a bug that corrupted my save file in Dying Light, and I did not want to do the first 4 hours of the game over again. So probably not. It was a good game, but that's why it didn't make any of my lists.
Welcome to the sub club.
For 2015 gaming, because it simply just broke on me, and I couldn't play it, and I did not want to replay it, and there was no way to salvage my file, so I just was over it. How do you feel about Bungie Activision's new money trap scheme to prey on new young kids? I think it's kind of stupid. I don't know if you're referring to anything in general, but Bungie, the Call of Duty series is there to cash in. Obviously, Destiny is there to cash in, but at least you get a fair amount of content for what they're cashing in on. I don't know. That's just the way gaming is working, right? And I'm just going to be cynical about it. You're never going to hear Total Biscuit or Jim Sterling or Angry Joe or anybody else say this kind of thing. You're never going to hear any of those people ever say what I'm about to say. Okay? But as an older gentleman, as an older adult, I've kind of accepted what the world is becoming. Okay? And so here's what it comes down to. Consumers dictate the market at the end of the day. You, the person sitting there listening to this or watching on Twitch, you dictate the market all of the time. Every market is ultimately a seller's market. If you don't spend money on a product, it will not be produced. It will not be made. It will not happen.
Well, jerk me off and call me Shandy.
The reason you're seeing so much of this bullshit with Activision, with pretty much every game, is because people are buying it. So many people are buying it. People want this shit. People are buying add-ons. People are spending money on microtransactions. They're spending $1 million a day on Candy Crush. They're spending millions of dollars on the DLC in all of these games. That's why they're doing it. And even the companies that don't want to do it, try to do it. So you've got this perpetuating situation that's simply never going away. This situation is never going away. People want to spend money on stupid shit. And that's just how gaming is going to be. And we've told you guys that. And we've told you not to purchase it. And we've suggested you don't. And some of you have listened, but not enough of you have. And so that's where the money is. That's what they're going to do. And that's just it. And you can choose to keep gaming or you can choose to quit. But it's entirely over now. The fight is over. The fight is no longer whether or not it's going to exist. The fight now is whether or not it will be fair. And you have things like Halo 5 where it's kind of fair. And so that's what I'm arguing for now. At least make it fair. I know you're going to bend us over. I know you're going to fuck us. But at least make it as fair. At least make it enjoyable for us, please. Thank you, Hey, Boogie, not sure of this place. We're wondering how... I can't answer that online. I'll answer these donations after we're done because we're focusing on gaming here. Somebody asked what I think about the latest machinima controversy. And if you guys don't know, I don't know. I really feel like this is not talking about gaming, but it is talking about gaming YouTubers, so I think it's at home. Basically, it's more bullshit coming out about machinima. In this particular case, it's another YouTuber wanting out of his contract, getting screwed over by machinima, taking a big chunk of their money. To this day, I have never signed a partnership with any company. To this day, I have never MCN'd. Some people have come at me with decent contracts. Some people have actually been really awesome. And some people have offered me just the best stuff. I refuse to sign a contract because I never wanted to get into the situation. But even from the beginning, I would have never given Machinima the time of fucking day. When they were throwing around 60-40 contracts that last for 3 years, when they sent me one of those, I laughed in their fucking face. Now, the problem is gaming at one point needed an MCN. That's why I ended up going the direction I did, talking about video games rather than playing video games, because I refused to give up control to a multi-channel network. Machinima has been rotting from the inside out for the last 3 years. And while they do still have some really cool people under them, and while some of the really cool people still work there, and while they do produce still some good content, at the end of the day, this will happen to every MCN at some point. Right now, it's Machinima. Next week, it could be whoever else. And that's why if you sign a contract that lasts 3 years, never sign a contract that lasts 3 years. It doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or anywhere else. Never sign a contract that lasts 3 years. Don't sign a contract that lasts 2 years. Never sign any contract that's going to last more than a year. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of a year. And if that person insists on a 3-year contract, that's because they know that they're taking advantage of you.
Welcome
and they
to the
insist
Sub Club.
on you letting them take advantage of you. Don't fucking let them. Simple as that. So I feel bad for the guy who's gotten taken advantage of, and I'm going to feel bad for anybody who gets taken advantage of. And some MCN networks are still really good right now. And if you're one of those people, that's okay. Hopefully you don't have a 3-year contract with them, because they could go bad real quick. And when they do, you're stuck with them for the next 2.5 years. So, hey, JR, welcome to the Sub Club. Let's see what else. What other kind of questions we had in here? Have you ever met James Rolfe or Mike Mattel? No, I've not met either of them. Mike Mattel. I always wanted to meet James Rolfe. That's the angry video game nerd for those people who don't know him. He's on my list of people I definitely want to meet. Let's see. What console game do I want to be remade the most? I'm not sure, actually. I would like to see a nice HD remake. Not necessarily remake. I don't know. All the remakes are turning out to be worse than I wanted them to be. And so I was about to say the original Final Fantasy, but I don't trust Square Enix to do it anymore. So, honestly, I'm not really sure. An AVGN and Francis crossover would be awesome. Well, give me a call, James. I'd love to come over and play some games. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if you know who I am or why I exist, but let's see. Thoughts on Final Fantasy VII? I've covered that on a video on my channel, so I don't want to repeat it here, but I'm pretty fucking depressed by the whole thing. It's the short version. What is your opinion on the gambling drama that surrounds skins in CSGO? Is it okay for kids to be gambling? I don't really think of it as gambling, you know? You're getting something for your money every time. In gambling, you get nothing for your money sometimes. So that's what makes it gambling. You're gambling something. You know, you're trying to get cool skins and cool guns and cool shit in CSGO. And if you get the cool shit, then, you can turn around and sell it. And so you have a chance to make money. That's kind of a lottery system or a raffle system, I guess. But again, I don't know. I mean, there's always been, ever since I was a kid, there's been a chance at convincing kids to gamble. Arcade games themselves are gambling machines, and claw machines are gambling machines, and I mean, it's kind of hardwired to the human nature, so I don't really think there's anything wrong with opening crates and opening stuff, opening booster packs or things along that lines. That's okay. What future game do you wish to come out in the future? A game about the future. What a weird question. What future game do I wish to come out in the future? A game about the future. Back to the Future, Future Quest. What's my favorite game that I'm playing right now? Fallout 4, easily. I love it for the sandbox aspect. It's not really about the storyline, which is not very good. It's a big fan. I'm a big fan of just sandboxing it and going out and exploring and blowing shit up. In fact, we may play a little bit of that here tonight on Twitch before I head out. Tank asks if you could have a LAN party with 5 other YouTube gamers who all would you want to come, and what would be the game you would want to play? It depends on if we're recording it for YouTube or not. If we're recording it for YouTube or not, I might have completely different answers. But right off the top of my head, whether we're doing it for YouTube or not, I'd love to play some more games with TB. I've got to play some games with TB. I've got to play Here's the Storm mostly. I would love to have JonTron. I'd love to play some games with John. He's fucking great. One of my favorite people on the planet. I've got to play Magic against Pro Jared, but Pro Jared is a lot of fun to play games with. I wouldn't mind getting to play with Pro Jared as well. Geez. Every time you get a question like this, you feel bad because you're afraid the person's going to see the video and then you forgot them. And there's so many people that I just immediately think of that I would love to play games with, obviously. Angry Joe, I've got to play a game with Angry Joe. That was fantastic. I'd love to have Joe there. Jim Sterling, I've never got to play anything with Jim. But I just like to hang out with Jim. The problem is, a lot of these people, it's not about the games or whatever games we play. I just want to hang out with them. Like, I'd be like, hey, let's play a game. And then 20 minutes later, I'd be like, you guys want to go get something to eat and, like, just hang out? Because, they're good people. I almost met Markiplier last year's, I almost got to meet Markiplier at last year's VidCon. Unfortunately, did not. But I think he was excited to see me, which would have been cool. He apologized profusely for not being there. Thoughts on all the leaks of the new Magic the Gathering set? There's always leaks. I love leaks. Keep giving the leaks. Will I be picking up Doom next year? Absolutely, and I'm a huge fan of the franchise. One of the first games I've ever played, and while I sucked at it then, and I'm sure to suck at the new one now, I can't wait to play more Doom. I love graphic violence. I like scary. I like that kind of scary, and the gross kind of shock value scary, not the jump scare stuff. And I think that Doom can be very, very good, and I hope that it'll be very, very good, and I can't wait to play it. Let's see if we can find a couple last questions. What do I think about Angry Joe? I think Angry Joe is great. Do I like Deus Ex? I've never really played the games. Did I ever play City of Heroes? It was alright. Let's see. What do you think of China using video game scoring mechanics in real life to enforce their ideals? I don't know anything about that, man. I know less about that than I don't know. That's a weird question. I'm not an expert on China or anything like that. I've never even heard of that. Do I think Obsidian, that made Fallout New Vegas, will make a new Fallout game? I would love to see them make. I like what Obsidian does, and they did a half-decent job with New Vegas, even though I wasn't crazy about it. Could they use this engine to make a new game? Yes. Will they? I don't know. I mean, more Fallout is good to me, but then again, we have the Season Pass to look forward to, and I hope that the Season Pass is good. Boogie, do you think the hype for the Division is real? Why or why not? UFOs ate my cat. I love you, man. But the answer to that question is always the same. Do I think the hype for this game is real? Do I think this game is going to be... is this next game going to be the thing? The super exciting thing? And the answer is wait for the game to come out. Wait for the reviews. Don't pre-order. Don't get hyped. Don't get super excited. Don't be like crazy about anything. Every game should be treated with a cynical eye. Every game should be treated with a cynical view. You should reserve your money to the last possible second. For some games, you should wait until they come up with a Game of the Year edition or a Season Pass or something that you can purchase that allows you to save your money. Wait for the reviews. Watch YouTubers play it. Watch Twitch streamers play it. Wait. Always wait. So the answer to that question and any question revolving any video game is always wait. Simple as that. But that said, guys, I'm going to wrap this up for the YouTube portion. We'll hang out a little bit more here on Twitch. Guys on YouTube, let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do more things like this. Maybe answer your questions in the future. Maybe we can make this a couple times a week kind of thing. I love you very much. Thanks for watching. I'll speak with you again soon.